not going to get started here for about 5 minutes, but I wanted to jump on early so everybody has a chance to get notified and get on. This is going to be so much fun. Hey, Christy. Hey, Angela. Good morning. Callie's on. Cashin's on. Why am I not live on my own Facebook page? I am in the group. Good morning. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Elaine. Holy cow. Hi, Kelly. Why is my video not showing up on my live? Oh, there I am. It's kind of a cheaty thing that I do. Hey, Denise. That way I can watch all the comments, and as you guys have questions, they're right there in front of me, and I don't have to worry about not seeing them. How is everybody? Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys excited for this? Who all took their assessments? Post below. Let me know if you took your assessment. Good morning, Laurel. Thanks for helping me early, honey. It was not working. I just figured we're going to do this kind of a cheater way. So, yay! Okay, awesome. Good job, Angela. You got your assessment done. I think you may have posted. I had a space in here for everybody to post their results. So whether you did or whether you didn't, it's totally fine. Okay, why am I not finding? Oh, that's what we're going to do. Oh my gosh, Jill. Hi, babe. Oh, I miss your cute little face. Ready to go. Ready to go. Yay, Stephanie's on. Nice. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Stacy's on. Good morning. We got one heck of a crew this morning, you guys. I'm super excited. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. I really honestly thought we wouldn't have a ton of the group jumping on today. So this is going to be fabulous. I'm hoping that, hey, LaDonna, how you doing, hon? I haven't seen you in a million years. So glad to have you guys jumping on. Hoping that you guys did have the opportunity to take the assessment. If you didn't, that's okay. Take it later. Come back and rewatch this. It's not a big deal, okay? We've got 5 days ahead of us, and I'm going to be pouring tons and tons and tons of all the good stuff into you so that we can, no surprises in my results. Cashin, you're on vacation and you're watching? You rock, dude. You rock. You're awesome. Oh my gosh, of course, LaDonna. I'm thrilled that you're here. So, let's see here. Oh, we got about a minute until we get started. So I got to make a couple quick notes before I forget. Hey, Deb. Welcome, welcome. Okay, it's almost 9 o'clock. Oh, wow, that just got really weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we start, I had a bit of a technical difficulty. I have just started my BeLive.tv, what do I want to call it? Subscription. And I'm having a hard time getting the screen share option to work. So I decided I'd kind of cheat this morning so that when there's a will, there's a way. So I'm coming to you live on my phone, watching my screen so that we can work along together. And in the group, I just added 2 new files. One of them, hey Charla, one of them is slide 8, one is slide 9. So when we start talking personality, if you guys could pull those up and follow along, that's what we're going to be teaching from today. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to do a screen share. It kept kicking me out, and I just got mad and decided to heck with it. So pivot. Okay guys, 9 o'clock. Hey Tom, welcome. 9 o'clock. Let's get started. So you guys, thank you so much for participating in the 5-day challenge, Get Off the Damn Hamster Wheel. And I am assuming that we are all on here because we kind of feel a little stuck, maybe. And so one of the things that I've discovered just in all of my years of personality training, coaching, etc., and I'll tell you a little bit about me here in just a minute. About 90% of you in the group don't know me. So I'm going to take a little bit of time. Hi, Aspen. I'm going to take a little bit of time and let you know a little bit about who I am. But in all my years of coaching, all my years of training, personality training, etc., one thing that I really started to understand first and foremost about myself, and then was able to help my clients apply it as well, was a little bit of the frustrations that come along with goal setting and achieving. I have taken tons of classes and read tons of books, and it was just kind of frustrating and maddening, and drove me a little on the crazy side because I couldn't quite implement them in the way that I felt that they should be implemented. And it took me a long time until, hey Wendy, hi honey. It took me a long time until I finally got into a space of being able to understand that, well, what if I'm not wired in a way that doesn't resonate with me? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Today is all about your wiring. Hey, April, thanks for joining. Today we're going to be talking all about your innate wiring. So let's jump in. Those of you that are watching live, take a quick second and hashtag live so I know who's on live. And those of you that are watching this later on, please go ahead and hashtag replay. Also, if you have, those of you that are watching the replay, if you have questions, comments, whatever, please hashtag replay with the question or comment. That way it makes it easier for me to find them so I can make sure and answer you, okay? Just because you're not on live doesn't mean that I don't love you, and doesn't mean I'm not going to get back to you, because I will, I promise. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right on in. So here's a little bit about me. So again, my name is Krista Sutton, for those of you that do not know me. I am an executive coach, and I'm also the co-founder of the personality assessment, Ideal Personality, that we're going to be utilizing throughout the next 5 days. Just a little bit of background on me. I come from a background of corporate America. I was an excess and surplus lines insurance underwriter and in the insurance industry for a grand total of about 15 years, believe it or not. And what I absolutely loved about the insurance industry was it really developed my people skills, and it kind of lit my fire for trying to understand how people work. How people think and how to communicate with them. I'm one of these kids that my whole entire life, I don't get why people don't get along. I just don't. It makes zero sense to me. It frustrates me to no end. I don't know why we can't get along. Doesn't mean we have to be best friends, but we can at least honor and respect each other. Hashtag amen. Right, guys? Hashtag amen. Oh, by the way, I love hashtags in case you haven't figured it out. So we're going to be doing a lot of hashtags. My buddy Jane is on. Brandon's on. Hey, Brandon. This is awesome, you guys. I'm going to have to quit saying hi to everybody because that's all we'll do this morning. So back to getting focused. So I had this corporate America, history in corporate America. And from there, I had always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I transitioned into direct selling, and I actually was with Mary Kay Cosmetics for 8 years. I think a total of three of those years, I think I was a sales director and a senior sales director. I drove a car, not the pink Cadillac, but I did have, I it was a fantastic career. And being in that leadership role that I had developed, that's where I fell in love with coaching. That's where I fell in love with sitting down eye to eye, nose to nose, and helping the women and men in my circle set goals, achieve goals, and create whatever it is that they wanted to create in their life. And so in 2009, I left the company and I started Krista Sutton Coaching. So I've been doing that now for, I'll be celebrating 10 years coming up here really soon. I'm so excited for that. And I've been a certified personality expert since 2013. And I left my previous company in last September actually, and partnered with the amazing Jamie and Marla Keller here in the Boise area, partnered with them, and we are launching Ideal Personality. It's live, we're using it. However, you know, it's all the ins and outs of the business piece. So it's getting launched, it's in the process, funnels are being built, landing pages are being created, all that fun stuff. But it's mine, so you guys get to use it now, and you don't have to pay for it. Just saying. So, okay, so now that you know a little bit about me, let's talk a little bit about you. So here's what I want you guys to do is go ahead and on your page, if you would go ahead and pull up slide number 8, because I want to just jump right the heck on into this. Slide number 8 is the 4-quadrant assessment piece. Okay, so once you've taken your assessment, here's kind of the mindset that I want you to pay attention to while we're talking about your test results for the day. Fair enough? And again, ask questions, post comments. I really want to be able to help you guys and make sure that you understand all of this and that it makes sense for you, because I got to be really honest with you. I took the assessment quite probably, how many times? 3 times before I actually took it from that perspective of, this is how I'm wired. These are the things that I actually like to do. These are the things that make sense for me. Because how many of us have had an opportunity in our lives, whether it's a role that we took on, it was an experience that we had, and it kind of pushed us into having to adapt to a new skill set that maybe wasn't in alignment with how we are originally wired. So, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the majority of us that are on here today, that's the case. Because only about 10 to 15% of people are wired in a way where they set a goal and they achieve it. It's just natural for them. They're just very, it's that director mentality, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. And it makes so much sense for them that they just set a goal and they achieve it. I mean, who of you on here has somebody in your life that's like that? I do. I've got lots of people in my circle that are, oh, I think this month I'm going to do this, and then at the end of the month it's done, and they don't need accountability. They just create it and it happens. And you know, I think that's wonderful. I think it's amazing. But then there's the rest of us. So let's get successful, the rest of us. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in. Does everybody have that slide accessible? Go ahead and let me know. Yes, give me a hands up, a something that you guys have got it open. It's right there on the page. Truth. I'd love to be one of the 10 to 15%ers. I'm just not. Awesome. Okay, guys. So now we are going to go ahead and open this up. I can get to it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do right now really quickly. Just a sec. I just had a really cool idea. Oh, okay, Angela, no worries. Okay, so I want you guys to really quickly post below. Here's what I want you to post. Number 1, slide number 8, Kimberly. Slide 8, it's in the files. I I want you to post two things below. Number one, I want you to post where you're tuning in from. I want to know where everybody's from because we've got people from all over the country. I got Canada. I got Canada. I think we may have the UK. Excited. So I want to know where, number one, where you're tuning in from, the state, the country, the whatever. And I also want you to share in that same comment. I want you to please share what your top score was. I want to know if you are a director. I want to know if you are, everybody's so on the ball. You guys are awesome. If you guys are a director, a creator, a unifier, or a sequencer. So let me know who's on here. Oh my gosh, we got Virginia on here. I know we have Canada. We got lots of Idaho. That's really cool. Okay, so while you guys are posting where you're tuning in from and also what your top score is, let's go ahead and jump right on into director personalities, okay? So director personalities, and I wanna, before we start talking about, that's okay, if you guys haven't taken the test yet, it's not a big deal. No big deal. Oh, that's right. Kimberly's tuning in from Atlanta because she's on vacation. She's not in Canada right now, but that's okay. So when you're looking at this slide, you can see that we have things divided between healthy and conflicted, okay? The reasoning for that is this. For those of you that have taken assessments before in the past, and I think most of us have, most of us at some point in our career, in our life, whatever, we've taken some kind of a personality assessment. And one of the things that I now know that I didn't understand is that we are just kind of wired to take personality assessments. It seems natural to us to take them based on what we're good at, right? What we're good at. Now, the whole purpose behind Ideal Personality, one of the biggest pieces of the platform for me, this is a huge wellness tool, and this is also a huge wellness tool and an awareness tool, which is why I partnered with Jamie and Marla, because this is absolutely brilliant. Is that sometimes we have an opportunity in our life, we take on a role or a job or an experience happens to us, and we need it. The situation necessitates us becoming different, and not here's the thing, not good, not bad, not right, not wrong. It just is. Okay, so like here's my example. My husband and I have been together for 15 years. Okay, we've been married for a little over 13. I went from being a single mom of 3 to being a married mom of 6. And the 3 sweethearts that I inherited were kindergarten, 1st and 3rd grade. Mine were junior high, high school. So I had to become this list maker, taskmaster. My husband was driving truck at the time. He was gone 12 to 16. If you got a score of 248, that's not correct. So just total the number of true answers. Don't add up the number of the question, okay? If you scored higher than a 14 on anything, we need to connect because you've taken the assessment wrong. If you didn't take it wrong, you just added the answers wrong. Let me back up. So anyway, so when Chris and I got married, I really had to dive into that part of my personality, and I had to get really good at being organized. I worked from home. I had 6 kids, 3 schools, 27,000 different directions. And it was crazy, and I had to become that. And I did it willingly. I loved it. But here's what I noticed, and here's what you may have noticed, is when we get good at something, what happens? Opportunities seek us out. When we get good at something that may not necessarily be our personality, our innate wiring, what can happen is the boss wants you to take on a project, or your friends are asking you to be a part of a certain group, or to take on a nonprofit thing, or whatever, because you've shown them that you're really, really good at what you're doing. Now, the problem with this, the downside of this, is that when you're working in in an area of your brain that isn't your innate wiring, that will deplete you. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video. But right now, I just want to talk about your results and help to kind of paint a picture, because you're going to have some homework. You're going to have some homework tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about, let's talk about director first and foremost. Those of you that are directors, director personalities, you'll notice that there's a healthy list and a conflicted list. And here's the thing. When I've taken personality assessments in the past, and I don't know if this has happened to you, I've taken personality assessments in the past, and my test results came back. There was one in particular, I won't say which one, but my personality test came back that I was a natural communicator. I was engaging. I was outgoing. I was fun, and I was also flaky and irresponsible and unreliable. Most other assessments, matter of fact, all of the other assessments that I participated in, they lump everything together. And here's what I want your takeaway to be from this, is that when there is no conflict, that's when all the healthy traits are available to you. It's when we have conflict within ourselves or within the relationship. Within a relationship, that's when some of the conflicted stuff can come up. And conflict is anything it's stress. It's stress, anger, frustration, worry. It's the yucky stuff that shows up in life, whether a little or a lot. And that's when we need to be very aware. This is why this is an awareness piece, because those personality traits, the conflicted ones, can show up. Here's the kicker. We may not see them, but this is how, and we may not even be actually displaying those. However, those conflicted traits are what other people around us actually can actually perceive in us. Okay, so let's get started. Directors, director personalities, which some of you are director. If you're director and you're still struggling setting your goals and achieving your goals, you're probably trying to do that, tapping into either your creator or your sequencer, but you'll learn more about that in a minute. Director personalities. You are all about very, very fact-driven. Director personalities are, get to the point, very blunt. They can actually sometimes be perceived as coming across a little angry when they talk to people. That's why people get a little intimidated by directors. They're kind of blunt and to the point. Money is how they gauge success. And just listen to me. It doesn't mean that they have to earn a lot of money. It can mean that they gauge success by meeting very high goals for their business or their nonprofit. It can be their investments. It can be whatever, but that's the one personality where money is how they define their success in some capacity. They're also very black and white thinkers, okay? And they're incredibly competitive. Directors are competitive either with themselves, with others, or both, a little bit of both, okay? And again, not good, not bad, just is. But director personalities need to be very aware, because when there's conflict, whether it's internal or external, they can be perceived as being very demanding and pushy and bossy. They're very intimidating, especially to the cross brain, which is the unifier. Okay, they can be very, they can get very, very easily intimidated. Because living also in this left brain is workaholism. I was very, very guilty of that. And sometimes those director personalities can also come across a little offensive. Left brain personalities, so that's the sequencers and the directors, you guys make decisions with your head. You make decisions based on numbers. You make decisions based on facts. It doesn't mean that you don't love people. They just aren't your measuring stick. Fair? Okay? So that's a little bit about the director personality. Now, the majority of directors, if that is their true, honest, innate wiring, and they stay in that, these are the people who set a goal and achieve it. Period. So now let's talk about the rest of us. Sequencers. Let's stay in the left brain. Sequencers. You're our researchers. You are our researchers. Again, very black and white. However, with sequencer personalities, black is a color, white is a color, gray is not now, nor has it ever been, or nor will it ever be, a color. Okay, they are the list makers, the taskmasters. They love feeling that they have that sense of control in their environment. Okay, another thing about sequencer personalities is they're incredibly straightforward, just like the director personalities. They have that tendency to be a little on the blunt side, so they can kind of sound a little pushy, or while directors sound a little more angry or pushy, I guess sequencers would be a little more condescending. They can be perceived as sounding like, you know, they kind of, I guess, yeah, I'm going to say it. I have a daughter. I have two of my girls that are super sequencers, and I've spent their entire life saying, don't talk to me like you think I'm stupid. Okay, sequencers, that's kind of what they do. They have a tendency to talk to people like they think they're stupid, or that's the perception. That's the perception. And every single one of these personalities has their own sense of entitlement. Directors, it's my way or the highway. Okay? That's part of your wiring. Not good, not bad, just is. Sequencers, everyone, you know, they just don't like stupid people, and everyone is pretty much stupid until they prove otherwise. Again, not good, not bad, just is. What I love about sequencer personalities is that they're the reason the human race still exists. Sequencers, you are the ones sitting in the back of the room, and when everybody's having a meeting and the director or the creator at the front of the room is going, we're going to do this, you're in the back going, yeah, but. Because sequencers have this amazing ability to be able to spot problems and start to go to work on how to solve them before the rest of us even really know what's going on. Okay, now sequencers, I'm sorry, you get a bad rap. You do get a bad rap because of that, because sequencer personalities, you know, they're like the Debbie Downers and the negative Nellies and the devil's advocates of the group. They're always looking through what the rest of us perceive to be a negative perspective. Okay? So here's the thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Although those of you that aren't sequencers and you're thinking of people in your life right now that probably drive you a little crazy because they're sequencers, here's the thing. Just because they've identified a problem doesn't mean they've solved it. They're processors. Sequencers, you are compartmentalizers, okay? You need time alone. You need downtime, because your brain is always going, always thinking, to the point of sometimes you can get very overwhelmed. So let's talk about the conflicted side. A lot of the personality traits and a lot of the wiring that falls on the spectrum, such as autism, OCD, other types of issues along those lines, that's where those personality traits show up. Okay, that's where they show up, is in that part of our brain. Okay. Sequencers also have a tendency to be a little perfectionistic, and by a little, I mean a lot. Here's the deal, sequencers. You get to the point of, because you want things to be perfect, you get to the point where you just kind of throw up your hands and say, if I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. Anybody relate to that? So it causes you to procrastinate. Again, please be very aware of that, okay? And sequencers also have that tendency of being a little socially awkward, and it's because they get very overwhelmed, okay? Very overwhelmed. They'll walk into a room full of people, and if they don't feel that they have a sense of control, not controlling the room, but at least their surroundings. They want to feel like they have a sense of control in their surroundings, which is why sequencer personalities in meetings have a tendency to sit in the very back or around the edges so they can see everything. Okay, they want to see everything because they hear everything, they see everything is it, and they have to kind of let that finish rolling around in their head, compartmentalize it, and then they can switch gears. That's why they need the downtime. That's why they need that quiet time. So sequencers, so there's our left brainers. Okay, those of you that are left brainers, I'm hoping that this helps. So, anytime I'm telling you guys something that really makes sense, please, please, please hashtag aha moment and let me know what it is, okay? Let me know what it is. I'm excited to hear. Okay, right brainers, it's our turn. It's our turn now. So let's talk about creator personalities. I happen to be a creator. So creator personalities. Creators we have the 30,000 foot view. We're the ones who are like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be awesome if? We have the best ideas and we don't follow through on them. We don't. It's not a part of our wiring. It's not. Creator personalities, again, that 30,000 foot view. We can sell ice to an Eskimo. We are engaging and fun, and we're idea generators. We get all these great ideas. That doesn't necessarily mean we know how to execute them. For the most part, we have no clue how to execute them. That's why we need the sequencers in our life, because they do. They're awesome. We also love change. We actually will create change because we get really bored. So creators, I'd be willing to bet that you get a little on the bored side. You've got we've kind of got the attention span of a fruit fly. We really struggle with staying on track, which is why every day I have notes to keep me on track. This is why every time I speak, I use a PowerPoint, because it keeps me on track. Otherwise, I will over here and over there. And again, that awareness piece, if you know that you do these things, then you can create things to help keep you on track, which is what this whole 5 days is about. So again, also creators, we're excellent communicators. We love change. We love variety. We're very engaged. You've got to keep us engaged, because if we're not engaged and plugged in and having fun, we're all about fun, creators. If it's not fun, if it looks like, acts like, walks like, talks like, smells like work, we're out. It has to be fun for us. It has to be fun. Now, something that I want all of us that are creators to pay attention to, that conflicted stuff. So anytime stress, anger, worry, frustration, any of that yucky junk starts to show up, you guys, here's what happens. We appear to be scattered. People think we're flaky. We don't read contracts. If it's fun, we're in. We sign contracts we don't read, okay? Be very, very aware of that and realize that other people can perceive those of us that are creator personalities. That's why we get perceived as being a little scattered or flaky. We believe in multitasking, creators. We think that multitasking is a thing, and science has proven it's not. So stop doing it. We are go big or go home personalities, which means we've got goals. We're going to do them all at the same time. And you're going to learn that that's not how you do things really well. And we're going to be tackling that this week. Because of the fact that we can sell ice to an Eskimo, we have to be very careful. My dad told me all the time growing up, use your powers for good, not evil. He's always told me that, honey, use your powers for good and not evil. Now I get what he means. We can talk anybody into anything. Anybody, literally anybody, into almost anything. So only use your powers for good and not evil. We can be perceived as being a little manipulative, and if we're not careful, we can be manipulative. So keep your powers in check, creators. We also come across as being a little self-centered and, of course, irresponsible, because we have a tendency to be all over the place. So any questions about creators? Does that make sense, guys? Any aha moments? Dying to hear them if you have them. Okay, so now last but not least, I'm gonna make sure we're on time. Oh, you guys, we're doing so good on time. This is awesome. Okay, last but not least, my unifiers. Unifiers, here's the thing. Those of us that are right brain, creators and unifiers, we make our decisions based on our relationships, on people. Now, creators, we just want people to like us. We really do. That's kind of our big MO, is we want people, deep down, we want people to like us, okay? Now, unifiers, you just love people. You love people. Not that the rest of us don't. That's your MO. That's how you function. Every single thing you do as a unifier is because of your love of people, okay? Can I get like a hashtag amen unifiers? Because that's how y'all are. It's great, and I love that. I love, love, love my unifiers. As a creator, I'm so blessed to have a lot of unifiers in my life, which is great. because my love language happens to be words of affirmation, one of my two highest. And it's great because that's unifiers just love on you and tell you, you know, whatever it is you need to hear. And that's fantastic. So unifiers, here's how you work. You love people. You're very relationship driven. Okay. Everything you do, from your family to your friends, to everything, every single thing that you do, that's why you roll out of bed in the morning. Unifiers are the natural peacemakers. Okay, you see things from both people's side. You are great at mediating. You are very others focused. You come early and set up. You stay late and clean up. And you also have this wonderful ability to let those of us who are more frontal, which means the directors and the creators, who are very comfortable being in a more public arena, you're very happy to be in the background and create an environment where we can shine. So unifiers, those of us that are creators and directors, we love you. You're fantastic. And very inclusive. Unifiers collect people. They collect people. My mother-in-law is a unifier. That's why she's my mother-in-law, and she's smart too. She introduced me to her grandkids first. I fell in love with them, especially the 3-year-old Dora the Explorer is exactly what my Samantha looked like when I first met her. And I fell in crazy, crazy love with all of these kids. And then I met their dad. Smart move, Mom. And my husband's fabulous. He's totally a unifier. He's just, oh, he's fabulous. So, unifiers, here's what I want you to be careful of. And there are also a few things I want to let those of us that aren't unifiers know about the unifiers in our life, because you guys, this is important. One thing about unifiers is that they can be frustrating to the rest of us because they don't make decisions quickly, okay? Sequencers and unifiers, these are the people who don't close at the table. I mean, you're not, if they're a potential client, you're not going to close them at the table. And the reason for that, and sequencers are different, they want to research, but unifiers, you're going to hear things like this from a unifier. I have to sleep on it. I have to think about it. I have to pray about it. I have to talk to my husband. I have to talk to my wife. I need to consult my psychic, you know, whatever they need to do, because a unifier is not going to tell you yes or no until they've taken into very careful consideration how that one simple single decision will affect every single person in their life it could possibly affect. So those of us that are creators, sequencers, and directors, let's just cut our unifiers a little bit of slack. Okay, unifiers, can I get an amen? I got your back on this. I got your back. So, but unifiers, I want you to be very careful, because here in some of that process, anytime there's stress that comes up in relationships or internally for you, here's some of the behaviors that some of us perceive. And truthfully, some of these can happen as well, is that, bless your hearts, you guys do not like change and you do not like conflict. You just don't. Now, you do like change if it's to better someone else, okay? So that's something I definitely want you guys to keep in mind, is that when if for those of you that are unifiers, see, you can tell I'm a creator. People are asking questions and it's like, oh my gosh, I am going to get to the questions, guys, I promise. Is that as a unifier, you can be perceived to get a little passive aggressive. You can come across as being indecisive or needy or clingy because you take a while to because you do take a while to make those decisions. So just be very, very well aware of that. That passive aggressive behavior can be perceived, and it can be actual, but it also can be perceived. So just be very, very aware of that. So that's just a little bit on each of the 4 quadrants. Okay, any questions? I'm going to flip out of here and I'm going to go back and scroll through and see. Please make sure and let me know if you have any ahas, and we're going to switch gears because now we're going to talk about what's going on up here with the energy in your brain and why it's causing you frustration in setting and achieving your goals, okay? Yeah. I'm telling you, unifiers, you don't do change and conflict. I'm telling you, you just don't. Okay, so let me get back here where we are. And, okay. Stephanie, I'm a unifier but make decisions quickly, for better or for worse. Well, we're going to talk about adaptation in just a minute, and that might answer that question. Let me see here. I want to look at all the comments. Oh, come on, let me see all my comments. Why is it not going to let me see? Change to better others, not for self-environment. Makes sense. Okay, so before we switch gears and move into energy, it just looks like everybody's kind of sharing with me their scores and whatnot. Does anybody have any specific questions on this part so far? If so, go ahead and throw it down there below. Why is that video showing up there? This Be Live TV is going to drive me crazy. Question. Being Director 10, C11, Sequencer 10, Unifier 14, I'm so in all of them. How do I function? Here's the thing. We're going to talk about being overly adapted. And overly adapted is, I'll show you here in just a second. Oh my gosh. That's why it showed up in the wrong thing. Yes, delete, delete, delete. No wonder I couldn't make Be Live work. It's going on my personal page and not hamster wheel. The things we learn. I feel like the healthy creator and the conflicted unifier are at constant odds within me. Ooh, that's a nice observation, Laurel. The picture behind the words means something. I can't make it all out. Here's the thing. When you guys are looking at that graphic, all of the words in front, those are the things that are important. Behind it are just pictorial. They're just different personality traits, and they're just pictures of it, so it's okay. But we can talk more about that later too if you want to. How do you get your score in the different categories? Is it the 3 downloads? Okay, so Brandon, in the files, you are going to find the personality profile for business. That's the one that you need to take. That's the one that we're discussing right now. So you can go ahead and take it and then come back later. And there's a video in here. So for those of you that have not taken the assessment, there is a video in the attachments on the page that let you know exactly how to take the assessment, okay? Let's see here. Multitasker creator shuts me down. Yep. Amen. Me too, sister. Okay, so now let's switch gears. I want you guys to go ahead and open up slide number 9 because we're going to talk about how your brain uses energy. Okay? Slide number 9. Cool. So, give me a quick drop some kind of fun emoji and let me know that you guys have got this open so we can dive in because this is where it gets cool. Most of you have taken assessments in the past, so other than the conflicted versus healthy, most of this information probably not new to you. Kimberly, you did the test again this morning for the 3rd time. Feel confident that I finally got real about my true wiring. Yes! I'm telling you guys, most of you are going to retake the assessment before the end of this. I took it 3 times. As the expert, I took it 3 times until I finally realized that what I was good at and what I was wired to do were 2 totally different things. Love it. Okay. Oh, cute. What is that, a cat? Oh, Christy, that's like a cat. That's cute. Open, open, open. Okay, so you guys have got that open. Let's go ahead and start talking about how your brain uses energy, okay? So I'm using creator as an example. I'm a creator, so it is what it is. Anything that I'm telling you, I want you to just go ahead and plug into what your highest score is. So when I test for creator, okay, when I took my assessment, I am an off the charts creator. I'm like, I think the highest score you can get is a 14. I think I'm a 13. I have to look up my test results. I think I'm 13 creator. And then my director and my unifier are pretty close. They're like 7 and 8. And then my sequencer Me, who was operating as a sequencer for most of the last 15 years, my sequencer, guys, is a 2. Not a detail-oriented person. I'm not. And now that I understand that, I know how to delegate. You guys are going to learn a lot. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, so how your brain uses energy. So when I'm talking about creator being my brain lead and my innate, I want you to just substitute whatever yours is. Okay? So when we were born, one quadrant of our brain lit up. Okay? Harvest, open up the slide 9. Sorry, my brain just left me for a second. You guys have got each other's backs. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Callie, for telling her. Okay, so when we were born, one quadrant of our brain totally lit up. Okay, that is where the bulk of our gifts and our talents live. Okay, these are the things that we love to do. They come naturally to us. We have fun and we get engaged, and for each of us, fun, we have our own versions of fun, but that's where all the good stuff is for us. Okay, now as soon as we're born, our brains start adapting. We use all of our brain, although some people like question, but that's just my, they're in the files, Harvest. However, that's just my creator sarcasm showing up. So our brains start to adapt. Now, the quadrants immediately to the left or to the right are the most manageable ones. So let me explain how our brains are built. Okay, I think most of us are familiar with the fact that we have one major fissure that runs right through the middle of our brain, and you can see it. You can see it on that slide. You can see where there's the 4 quadrants. So right down the middle is that big fissure that separates left brain from right brain. However, we also have another fissure, kind of cattywampus, but it separates our brain left to right. Now, energy in our brain, everything in our brain moves via synapses. These little tiny itty bitty little electronically transmitted, yeah, you can tell I'm not the sciencey person, okay? That's how all of the energy, all the information, everything is transmitted within our brain. Now, synapses can cross one fissure. They can't cross 2. Okay, so that's really important to know. So as a creator, so identify what your innate personality is, your brain lead. This is the area of your brain where most of that things are finding a, telling you, my creator is on fire this morning. I'm like too busy reading what everybody's posting. That innate brain lead, okay? That is where all the good stuff lives, all the easy stuff, the simple stuff, the fun stuff, the engaging stuff. That's where we do things naturally. Now, in order to access the other parts of our brain, we have to, that energy has to travel through the synapses. So they can travel one fissure, but they can't cross 2, which means if me as a creator, if I need to access something in my sequencer, I have to follow synapses that go from my creator over to my director and down, or down into my unifier and over. Does that make sense? You guys let me know if I'm making sense so far. Okay? And what can happen is that when you have that moment in your life, that opportunity, that whatever, to where you need to dive into the personality traits that are cross brain from your innate. So for me, it's a sequencer. If you're a director, it's the unifier, and vice versa on both. Okay? In order to do that, you've got to take a really long trip. Now, the downside to that is that it takes 10 times more energy to do that. So when we get good at something that's cross brain and we do it a lot, it leads to burnout. It leads to exhaustion. You have mental and physical fallout from it, you guys. I'm not kidding you. We're talking, it can trigger or fuel an existing depression. It can cause anxiety. It can cause physical exhaustion as well as adrenal fatigue. I was exactly a year ago, the world got me for 1 hour a day. And you guys, I'm not kidding. I dragged my sorry carcass out of bed in the morning and I got plugged in, and whether it was a client meeting, a networking group, a training, or whatever, the world got me, alert me, intelligent me, plugged in me, 1 hour, and then done. I was done. Everything else I was doing in my life, you guys, I was faking it. I was faking it, and I'm telling you, it hurt me. It hurt me in every area of my life because I couldn't function. And I got feedback such as, oh, it's, you just need to sleep more. Oh, you're going through menopause. No, I was not. Not then. I am now. And the boys don't need to know that. They don't care. But still, sorry, you're going to get the real me. All of these health things were coming up for me. And here's one thing that's true about our body is our body gives us warning signs. If something isn't right, something will trigger. And if we don't pay attention to that, something else will trigger and something else will trigger. And I was ignoring all these triggers, or I thought I was addressing them and I wasn't. So be aware, for those of you that are able to take this assessment and sit down and really start to think about the action items I'm going to have for you today. I want you to really think about, am I functioning in my innate? Are my test results really accurate? Okay? Because because I got so good, at that cross brain personality, at that sequencer personality for me, it made its way into my coaching. It made its way into other positions that I took on. I stepped into a leadership role. I actually created a leadership role for myself here locally as a part of a networking group. Very, very sequencer thing that I needed to do, because we're good at it. So stop focusing on what you're good at unless it's what you're wired to do. And as we start to talk a little bit more, we're going to talk about ways that, for those of us that are having that aha moment of, oh crap, how do I do that? I can't just not do these things. I still have sequencer things I do all the time, you guys. I've just learned how to time block, how to habit stack, how to, all the things I'm going to be teaching you over the next 5 days, so that I can maintain my energy level and not get pulled back into all of the things that exhaust and deplete me, okay? So for those of you, if that makes sense, if when I'm talking about exhaustion or adrenal fatigue or depression or burnout or any of those things that are in alignment with functioning in your cross brain, man, hashtag an amen there, guys, seriously, because it's a big deal. And if you're not there yet, but you know that you're functioning in your cross brain, it's a coming down the pike. So it plays a huge role in whether or not you're able to achieve your goals. And it also plays a huge role in how you set your goals. So it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, guys. So here's how I want to explain to you how the energy in your brain works. My friend and my business partner, Jamie Keller, shared this with me, and it just totally made sense to me. So when we talk about how your brain uses energy, okay, let's just pretend for a second, let's just pretend for a minute that your brain is a carnival. Okay, you get to go to the carnival. I'm going to give you $1 and you can go on all the rides and you get to spend the whole day there. Okay, now, in your innate brain lead, okay, in your innate brain lead, those rides cost like a penny and you can ride them all day long and you have so much fun because it's just easy and it's fun and it's engaging, and when the day is over, you're ready to go home and do it again. You're ready to go back and do it again, okay, because you're energized. Does that kind of make sense? Now, as our brains adapt, we move into those manageable spaces, because the manageable spaces, which for the creator happen to be director and unifier to the immediate right and left of your innate, those actually complement my creator, okay? So those managed personality pieces, they actually partner well with and complement your innate wiring, okay? So you're going to go to the carnival and let's say there are some rides in those managed spaces for you. If you're a creator, that's your director and your unifier. Those rides are, they're between 10 and 15 cents. You enjoy them, you have a really good day, but at the end of the day, you're done. You're tired, you're ready to go home and take a rest. Okay? Now, for those of you, if you're a creator and you want to go ride the rides in the sequencer section, here's what happens. Those rides cost 50 cents. You get on one, you're nauseous, your head is spinning, you throw up your cotton candy, you go home, you're done. That's how the energy gets used. So, wouldn't you rather figure out your innate wiring and be able to use that information to kind of redesign the way that you are setting and achieving your goals? How important do you feel that knowing this is going to be to you over the next 5 days? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. We got homework, people. Those of you, I've got clients that are in here. They know I'm all about the homework. Okay, you can sit and listen to me all day long, but if you don't put some dirt under your tires, ain't nothing gonna happen, people. So here's the homework. Here's what I want y'all to do, okay, before we meet tomorrow. I want you to go back and look at the slide on the 4 quadrants. I want you to look at your test result. I want you to look at the slide, and I want you to really take a minute, get quiet, don't have things going on around you, and I want you to think. The things that I do day in and day out, the things that my innate tell me are the things that are my natural wiring. Am I energized in this space? Does it energize me? Do I love doing it? Does it come naturally to me? Each of us should have a skill set, multiple skill sets that we really do when we find out at some point in our lives that not everybody can do that. I always thought, seriously, when it came to being able to talk people into stuff, I thought everybody could do that. No, turns out no, that's a creator thing, okay? So think about the skill sets and the talents and the gifts that you have in that innate piece and really be honest with yourself. I'm not kidding you. I took the assessment 3 times and you guys, this is what I do for a living. I know this. We're too close to our own situations sometimes. So be willing to get out of your own headspace and really take a good look at it. Fair enough? Okay, everybody hashtag yes. Okay? And when you're looking at that innate piece, I want you to just, quick pen and paper, just write down what is it in that space that you know can help you or already is helping you. And then I want you to look at that necessitated. And I want you to think about, well, what could be hurting me? What are some things that I'm doing that maybe aren't the best option? And I don't want you to get ahead of yourselves. I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, my job requires this, or oh my gosh, my family needs this. That's okay. That's okay. Because we're going to figure it out. We're going to walk through the steps, and I promise you, by the end of day 5, every single one of you is going to have a win. That's my ultimate goal, you guys. I want every single one of you to celebrate a win. I don't care if it's this big, I don't care if it's this big, or somewhere in between. We're all going to be celebrating the win, okay? So, you guys, here's the thing. We've got about 5, 6, 7 minutes left. What questions? Please hashtag your takeaways. I want to know what value you have found in this so far. And while you're doing that, I'm going to let you know what we're going to do tomorrow. So in the PDF files, you're going to see an introversion extroversion assessment. Here's the thing. You're going to take it. It doesn't take very long. It's pretty quick. Now, same rules apply though. I've had several people comment in the group already. Well, I love to do this. I've learned to do this, but I really thought I was this. The test says I'm an introvert, but I like to do this. Don't overthink this. Don't overthink this. We're going to talk about introversion and extroversion, what that role plays in your energy level, because there's only, honest to Pete, when it comes to introversion and extroversion, Lisa, I'm so glad that you get that carnival analogy. So when it comes to introversion and extroversion, here's the thing, is there's this bell curve. And about 70% of us fall kind of in the middle. And we're going to dive into that one as soon as we jump on tomorrow. I'm going to explain your results and help you to understand the one definition of introversion and extroversion. There's only one distinct definition. And most of us don't get it. We don't know it because we've been taught something different, or we just make, a lot of us make assumptions. I made huge assumptions about introversion and extroversion, and I was just flat out wrong. So tomorrow's going to be fantastic, you guys. So so thrilled to have you guys. Oh, Lisa, you took introvert, extrovert, and you tied. Me too. I was like I'm 5 and 5, if I remember correctly. I'm 5 and 5. We're going to talk about that too. So you guys, as you have questions, come back, rewatch the video, post below. Those of you that are watching the replay, hashtag replay, because then I can go in and I can search replay, and then I can make sure that I'm not missing out on any of your questions, okay? You guys, thank you so much. I'm so excited for this week. I'm so excited to be able to bring you as much knowledge as I can. I promised you guys this is meat and potatoes, and that's what we're going to be doing every single day. So I'm going to go ahead and log off now. You guys have got your homework. Take the introversion extroversion test and go back and look over your personality assessment and really dive into it and make sure that your innate is truly your innate, and write down what's working for you and what isn't working for you. Fair enough? Okay, guys, go have an amazing day. Looking forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow morning. And as always, you guys, go be blessed in your success. See you tomorrow.